Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May.
And today we are going to be talking about Dancing for the Devil, the Netflix documentary that just came out about the TikTok dancers who got pulled into a cult.
God bless.
I know it. If you're not familiar, Shekinah Church turned management company 7M for these dancers, got in a bunch of hot water. So we'll be talking about the actual documentary itself, kind of doing an overview there, and then also talking about some of the backlash that came from the documentary coming out and how it impacted the family, etc., and lawsuits and stuff like that.
Yeah, cults are bad.
Cults are bad.
So if you like cults, I guess trigger warning, because we're going to be talking a lot of shit about them.
If you're a cult leader, this is not the episode for you.
But also congratulations on your finances. I'm sure you're very rich.
It seems to be a lucrative business. Mm-hmm. All right. Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Alrighty. So yeah, I don't think that I could get pulled into a cult.
I would like to think that I wouldn't. And you know what makes me confident that I would not is how resistant I am to all of these. Like whenever there's like some big social movement, my first instinct is to say, well, let me fact check this stuff.
Almost aggressively so.
Sometimes
I look at myself and I'm like, why?
Why am I like this?
Yeah, why the second if something's on the news, I'm like,
That's not the full story.
no. That's
Right.
probably why we do this podcast, though, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a very skeptical person. I definitely don't go with whatever the majority is saying, no matter what. Like, I don't try to like fit in, you know, like depending on like the dinner party, I might be like, yeah, vote blue, no matter who. But like in reality, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm not voting for
RFK
anybody.
has some good points.
Oh, some good points. What are you kidding? But no, I mean, I feel like I would like to pride myself on being an independent thinker. I would like to think that I would not get pulled into a cult, but who knows?
Here's the biggest offense of the whole thing is I haven't even had the opportunity to say no to a cult. And frankly, I'm offended.
Yeah.
No one's coming up to me trying to get me to, be in the Shekinah Church or even in this like management company that's a cult.
Scientology, nothing.
If any managers want to sign me up for like a really successful management company for comedy that's a cult, I'm in.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I'll definitely do it.
100%. I'm in.
But I'll know that I'm in a cult.
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh, it's like a fun cult, but like, I don't know, your clips do well, so it's fine.
Right, yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, totally. I feel like so much of comedy is not cult-ish. Well, I guess sort of. But like, it's also, you just get fucking taken for a ride. You know?
You sure do.
Like people are like, oh, we'll, promote you on this, but we take 70% of your money. And you're like, okay, please.
Yeah,
and
you're like, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I need to sign anything? Do you want my social security number? What would you like? Well,
Totally.
it's so funny because this is, I don't know. Did you know the Wilking sisters?
No. So, what's funny is that I never saw them before ever. And then as soon as I watched this in the background of like doing work on my computer. So I'm not super familiar with most of the details. I know the high level a little bit that we're going to talk about today. But I never saw them before ever. And then they're constantly on my For You page.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing them like probably a year and a half ago because the sister, they're dancers. So if you're not familiar, Miranda and Melanie Wilking was formerly, now she's Derek, but they are sisters, but they had the same last name. And they went by the Wilking sisters and they danced together on TikTok and on Instagram. And were super fucking famous.
Yeah.
And then Miranda went to this other group and now she dances with her husband, whatever the fuck his name is. It's B-Dash. And they're really, really cute. They're adorable and they're very good at dancing. And they dance to like old timey tunes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sometimes she's got a good outfit. Sometimes not so great.
No. Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't know. I remember always pausing and being like, huh. Then I'm always like, this isn't for me. Like, I'm not a tween or something like that. Or like a 60-year-old mom who's, at home and like, look at these dancers. Like, it wasn't enough to capture my attention. Unless you're a kitten.
Yeah. I mean, it is mesmerizing.
I watched a little bit, but I never was like into it. But people were huge fans of them.
Okay.
They each had like several million followers. Like,
wow.
Yeah, they're big time. Whatever.
So they don't even need the fucking cult.
Yeah, well, this was before they definitely had a good following, but the cult, I think, really bumped them up.
Better do something for them.
I know.
I mean, Scientologists are really successful, so.
I know. That's they never talk about that side. There are some benefits.
Yeah.
It can't all be downside, folks. Otherwise, no one would join. But you still shouldn't join. Okay, so I'll go in. If you're not familiar at all with this, like, where the fuck have you been? But anyway, they joined this thing and it ends up being a cult. But originally, they were from Detroit. They have like a really, really cute little family. They grew up there. Their mom and dad were super involved in their lives. At age 9 and 7, they started their own dance camp, and they would teach dance to little girls their age and younger. So little entrepreneurs. Okay. Can you imagine at 9 years old, you're like trying to instruct other kids?
No, that's insane.
I was focused on one person, me.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. They would do it every year, and it was featured in local newspapers, and they just loved to dance. Like, they were super, super into it, and they were talented. They signed with a California talent agency, MTA, and then were like backup dancers and just all the like regional Detroit shit. Like the Pistons hip hop team. They did figure skating, private dance lessons for those people. Like, I don't know, like
private dance lessons for some undisclosed people.
Yeah. They were strippers. No, just kidding. No, they weren't. They just really loved to dance. Okay, they did it for the art.
I am such a fucking bad dancer. It is actually insane.
I did ballet for a long time.
I remember you had a joke about this.
I did have a joke about this because it was like, you should come see me do the joke. I don't really do it as much anymore, but I should bring it back. I was fucking loved ballet. I thought it was so cool, and I just shouldn't have done it. I was not good. I could technically do everything, but there was zero grace involved.
Yeah, it was a lot of stomping.
No, my feet are in the right position, and they're like, yes, but you're missing everything else.
Like, technically, sure.
You're nailing it.
Yeah.
But we hate watching this.
Did I ever tell you about how I went to the ballet with Mark's parents, and it was like some like progressive ballet, so there was like people of all shapes and sizes, and let me tell you something.
I'm sure Mark's parents were enthralled.
Well, I was just like, there's a reason why ballet dancers are, anorexic and do all these things.
Yeah, because they're flying through the goddamn air.
It was not a graceful they weren't good.
No, and then you have to land. Because that was my whole problem, is I was like, at that point, like on fucking national team for swimming, I was very big.
Right.
I was a big ass girl. So when I hit the ground after jumping up, it went boom.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like in, because it was a gym alternative.
Oh,
so I was in high school.
Oh my God, that's so funny. This whole time when I heard that joke, I was picturing you
as like a child.
Yes.
Maybe I should clarify that.
You need to clarify the fact that you started ballet.
Well, I like to do, I think in the joke I talk about it being in middle school, which is a little bit better for the joke because the love interest or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
So like 2-minute bit. Like,
okay. Continue.
Okay. Anyway, so they did that, and I'm sure they were really good. So good that they decided to go and pursue this like professionally. Miranda ended up moving to LA, and she began performing with Radio Disney, the W Hotel, Satin Dolls, which is a vintage group. I don't even know what that means.
That is also the name of a strip club in New York City.
She was stripping, probably, right?
I wonder, this is kind of depressing. I wonder how many girls start out as like dancers and then are like, well, it's not making me any money and I'm really fucking good at dancing. I'll just strip.
I mean, I'm sure a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot. Or even like the ones who dance in like the nightclubs and stuff like that, which is like stripping adjacent.
Oh, like a go-go girl.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure. And you know what? God
what
fucking
a workout.
bless.
What a workout.
That sounds horrible.
So hard.
4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's crazy.
My God. No.
I have to say, like, this is female privilege. Whenever I see a go-go dancer or something, I'm just staring.
Oh, absolutely.
I am just blankly staring at them.
I am ogling them. That's the word I'm using.
Yes, I'm ogling them. I am like hoping to get a peek up their skirt.
Yeah.
I am like, if I were a man, I would be kicked out.
Absolutely. They'd be like,
you're a creep.
You're a creep. We're charging you more. You're leering?
I'm leering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm like, like I said, I'm such a bad dancer that when someone's dancing well in front of me, I'm just like, wow.
I know.
This is great.
I know. I
You're
remember
wearing, a fucking bandana as a top and like shorts that right up your ass, but like you're doing a great job up there.
So I went to a strip club once with a very, very, very famous swimmer who was like a party guy. And he would
Okay,
bring,
man.
yeah,
Okay.
he was a man. And he, like, whatever, it was after a meet or whatever. And he brings everybody out. And he is a frequenter of this strip club. So they know him
Red flag.
quite a bit. Yeah, of course. I wouldn't get involved with this guy. I'm not going to name him, but like,
Yeah.
you can figure it out.
Sure.
And he knows all the girls, whatever. And he gives all of us, I'm like, I don't know, 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty young. This is probably like my second strip club ever. Like, I'm not a frequenter of it. And I'm just like, the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, they're getting naked. And he gives us all money to like do like the lap dances or whatever. And the girls are like dancing on us, which was so fucking funny because I couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, you're so talented.
Yeah, like
I
good
was just like,
job.
oh my God. And the girl was loving it because she was like, oh, thank God. Finally, like, I'm just going to make some money. And like, this girl is just like applauding my talents. This is what I've
Yeah.
wanted my whole life anyway.
No, this is great.
It was great. It
That's
was
so funny.
very, very funny. And then he bought 40 fireball shots at like 3 a.m.
Jesus.
We were like, what? There's 6 of us.
Yeah.
What, are we going to die? Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so I don't know if Miranda did that, but let's assume not. She is very religious, so I don't think she'd appreciate that. Her sister Melanie then also goes over to join her, and they're trying to audition for things and like get into acting and stuff like that. And shocker, very, very competitive, very difficult, and they are not successful or not finding as much success as they want. It sounds like they were doing pretty well, considering I've heard people get just goose eggs going out there.
Oh, for sure.
But they decided to do their own so joint dance personality on social media to launch the Wilking sisters.
Okay.
And that went super, super well. People loved them online together.
Yeah.
Loved that they were sisters. They like kind of look like twins. They're both really, really pretty.
Oh, you know what? I thought they were twins. I guess they're
No,
not
they're
twins.
2
Oh,
years
okay.
apart. You can see they look like models.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Mm-hmm. And that went really well. So they started gaining like a lot of notoriety. They worked with NBC, Victoria's Secret, Adidas, Nike, CoverGirl, 17 magazines, and other brands. They performed in different, they did choreography and performed with stars like Justin Bieber, Meghan Trainor, Kelly Clarkson, Janet Jackson, and Chris Brown. Yikes. And then also performed live with Bruno Mars, Jason Derulo, and Joe Jonas. So like they sound like they were doing great. Really, really well. They also were in videos with Chris Brown, Selena Gomez, and Iggy Azalea, and were on So You Think You Can Dance and Dance Moms. So they were like fucking crushing it.
Wait a minute, we have to do a sidebar right now because I can't believe we haven't brought this up
I know.
yet.
I can't believe we didn't talk about this.
Speaking
a
of
second you
dance
walked
moms,
in.
Laura met JoJo Siwa.
I know. We have been talking about her nonstop, and I literally. I was so mad at you guys first and foremost because no one was answering my text. It was like kind of late or whatever.
It was super. I was sleeping.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I have no excuses, so figure it out. But I'm texting and I'm just like, hey guys, I'm pretty sure JoJo Siwa is literally sitting at the front of my show right now. And then me and this other girl were like going back and forth and trying to figure it out. And I go on stage and I'm like, hey, are you JoJo Siwa?
What did they say?
She said no.
She said, no, I'm not JoJo Siwa.
No, she goes, I get that all the time. And I was
Oh my
just
God,
like,
that's actually, that's pretty fucking hilarious.
it
of
was,
her, honestly.
I earned a lot of respect. Right? Like I really give her a lot of respect now because she played that very well. She goes, no, I get it all the time. And I go, oh, that must be so annoying. Because I wasn't sure still. And she looked a lot like her, but like, I don't know. When you see a celebrity in real life,
it's different.
It is. And I was like, you look fucking normal also. Because she wasn't in her crazy ass little chrome.
Wait, but then you sent me that photo later. She was wearing the JoJo Siwa shirt.
I mean, it was JoJo Siwa for sure. So we talked to her for a little bit and she goes, no, like I'm a cheerleader. And I was like, okay, where from? And she goes, Auburn. And then she does the Auburn like cheer.
What?
Yes, I have a video. I need to like clip it all up at some point.
You have to put that on the internet. It'll go viral.
I know, maybe we'll see. And then I did the karma dance, and I go, "Does that make? Are you really sick of that?" And she goes, "Yeah."
That's amazing.
So I had zero chill, negative chill, but I also wasn't sure if it was JoJo or not. And then afterwards, me and the other girl were looking at her post from the day, and it was her. And then also one of the guys who had barked her and her friends in.
Oh my God.
Had a picture with her, and we were like, oh yeah, that's 100% JoJo.
No
Siwa.
way, that's so
JoJo,
funny.
and she's performing in Brooklyn tonight. And you know what, JoJo? I hope it goes well because you earned some good karma yesterday by being a good sport in the front row of a comedy show.
Well,
in Midtown of all fucking
so
places.
Funny. That is so. It's very JoJo Siwa to go to New York and spend most of her time in Midtown.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely. She probably like
very Disney adult.
Hit the M&M store and then like cruised on over to our show like swiftly thereafter.
Yep.
Also, like it wasn't a high stakes show. It wasn't like she was at the Cellar where you'd be like, okay. I understand that you're like trying. Yeah, of course.
Right.
It makes sense. But this was like a random fucking Tuesday show.
That is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was so funny. I wish I'd been more sure going in that it was her.
Yeah.
Because then I would have pushed back more. But then I didn't want to like just randomly isolate this random Auburn cheerleader.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know, maybe it is an Auburn cheerleader.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny because we have a group chat with our friend Kelly and we talk about JoJo Siwa constantly.
Like a lot.
Like a lot. Because it's like, it's such a fever dream. It really is. It's such a weird PR play that's working so well for her, but also terribly for her. I don't really know what she's going for.
I'm not sure what the goal is, but I hope she gets it. Now I'm fully on her team now. I'm like, go girl, let's go. Oh shit.
Oh my God.
No.
You're being too much like JoJo.
I know, that's so very
aggressive.
spastic.
Yeah.
I know, I did the karma dance and I can't stop. Also
Holy
very poorly too, let me tell you that.
Oh yeah. It's like a hard dance. That's why
know.
she does it so ugly.
It's very hard.
It's extremely ugly, that dance.
I can't believe I danced in front of JoJo's team. What is wrong with me? I gotta say, most of my set went pretty well. So in a tough room. So thank God. What if I just ate shit in front of her? Whatever.
No one would be none. Did anyone eat shit on that show?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I mean, it's like, it's Tuesday. Like, I get it.
Yeah, no, I would have ate shit on that show. I know
just-
the club you're talking about. I've ate shit there many a times.
It's like just part of just what happens.
It's just what comes
Not a dig on anyone. It's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so maybe they danced with JoJo at one
they did.
point. I like to think that they did.
You know what? They probably did. LA.
Probably.
I'm like, there's only one person to dance with in LA, and that's JoJo.
Yeah, that's the only dancer I fucking know or care about anymore. I'm so glad this happened before we did this episode.
I know, it's hilarious.
So, anyway, back to the Wilkings. They are obviously doing a lot of collabs with other dancers and stuff like that. And Miranda meets this guy named B-Dash, who is a crump dancer. Do you remember crump?
I remember crumping and clowning.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to know where I learned about crumping? From good old America's Next Top Model. I don't remember what season it was. It must have been like 3. This was when we were all watching every week.
Yes.
Tuning in religiously. You needed to know what was going on.
It was such a good show.
It was so good.
So mean-spirited.
It was wild. And they had the stupidest photo shoots. And in this specific episode, this is where Laura at like 14 learned about crumping. Tyra decides to introduce the world to this new dance form. Let's check it out.
Where's the ring, Jade? Where's the ring?
You had a photo shoot where you had to crump.
Oh my God.
Does everybody know what crumping is? Twiggy?
No.
Well,
Now I
crumping
do.
is it's a new type of dancing that's
Who was
taking
paying her
over
to
by
do this?
storm.
It's just crazy movement.
The crump community.
I want to see this. I want to see this. Okay, you want to slow it down a little.
That was not great.
No, it's terrible.
That's pretty accurate. I would say.
Literally in front of Twiggy.
Jade, here is your best shot.
So funny.
So I was like, oh yeah, I know what crumping is. Tyra did it once. No problem. And then they make them do this weird photo shoot with these people who are clowns who are crumping. I guess clowning
and crumping.
were like the same
Yeah,
world.
they used to go and like battle each other in these weird Brooklyn warehouses. I don't know.
I wish that would come back. I would totally go to that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, I used to watch them on YouTube for some reason in high school.
You're a big fan. You're like, oh yeah, I know B-Dash.
I guess I was because I watched a lot of clowning and crumping videos. I was like, no, there's like a team of clowns and then there's like a team of crumpers and then they like battle.
May's been
Why do I know?
fighting for her life to not interject as I'm like, and this is what crumping is, May. She's like, I know what crumping
Imagine
is.
if I was like, I competed.
It's not too late.
It's
Not too late for you to get into the crump community.
Oh
Just
my God.
classic stand-up comedian turned crump dancer. Maybe you could do it with JoJo.
Maybe I could. Oh my God.
That can be your
It's my
in.
new thing.
My new friend JoJo can help you to get into crumping or clowning.
Or clowning.
We're already clowning, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy's a lot hotter than the other crumpers I saw in some of my research. Let me tell you this. He's like an attractive, very attractive man, actually. Look
Yeah,
at him.
he's super hot.
Like he's chiseled and she's beautiful. I mean, that's what a couple. So they start dating and B-Dash or James Derrick, he starts working with this guy named Isaiah Shin to like make their videos. Isaiah was a really talented videographer. So they kind of had this like crew and then people who they would collaborate with. Miranda was one of them. And they did a bunch of videos. Like it's not fucking rocket science. It's like doing sketches with a whole bunch of other people, right?
Yeah. It's like a hype house kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I'll talk about those more in a second here. But Isaiah's dad, and this is really important, is named Robert Shin, and he was a pastor. So Isaiah was the videographer. He had like the area where they would go and use all of his equipment. So they would go over to his house. And a lot of these dancers were, a lot of them were like maybe a little bit religious, nothing major, very easily influenced. Again, this is like young artists in LA. So it's they kept, in the documentary, they kept being like, it's a vulnerable group. And I'm like, all right, relax.
Yeah, it's like
We're adults.
Yeah, they're adults. They're just like people that are looking for any string anywhere to like pull them up.
So anyone to say that you're special and that you're going to make it.
Right.
I mean, literally.
It's just like, I wouldn't say like vulnerable. I would more say desperate would be like a more appropriate adjective
absolutely.
to use.
And they want and ambitious as well.
Yeah.
And they also think that they're, unique and special. So very easily converted. And so they began to listen to him preach. And Robert heard about them trying to negotiate their brand deals. Like at one point, I think B-Dash was working on a deal and he was like, like getting fucked over. Mm-hmm. And he decided to start 7M, which is the management company. And his wife would become the talent manager for a bunch of the people in the crew. So all the people who worked with Isaiah, the videographer's son, all of a sudden signed with 7M because they were like, I don't shit else going on.
Right.
And it's not like fucking CAA or something's
Right.
calling. So yeah, let's do 7M.
And Robert is the bad man.
Robert is the bad man.
He's the bad man in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's not like, so they moved into the house, which is pretty normal at that point. Though.
Yeah, which is like weird that that's normal because usually if it's like,
what the
it's
fuck
like,
was that all about?
I don't know. Because what's strange is, like if someone was like, hey, you can be a part of this little group. We're doing all these things together, but you have to all live together. I would be like, what? I would be
Why,
like, this feels really culty, like straight away. But for so long, that was completely normal to have these strange content houses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's like a lot of them because I looked it up and I thought there was going to be like a couple, but there's probably,
maybe they're all cults.
I don't know, 30 or so. And they have the weirdest, it varies like K-pop-y kind of sounding.
Yeah. Sway House. That was a big one, I think.
Schluve House. Sway. Yeah, here's Sway House. So I found this website that has just a whole bunch of them. They're always cute. I would love a TV show talking about all of these different houses.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun.
And
I can't believe there isn't one.
I know.
Honestly.
Collab Crib in Atlanta. Dance Dome. Wow, 3 tiny little girls.
This is very
Drip
weird
crib.
that this is the culture. It's like, why can't you guys just meet up once a week, record a bunch of content, and then go home to your respective homes?
Lives. Yeah. Fenty Beauty House was made by Fenty Beauty. That's interesting.
And people are just making content out of there?
Oh, wait, it closed after COVID hit. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Girls in the Valley, those look like strippers, let me tell you that.
Yeah, they're probably like OF girls, I guess.
Oh,
because the Valley used to be known for porn.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotham House. There's some here in New York? Wow. With these expenses?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, apparently.
It's like grown up, like Greek life almost.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not unusual to have roommates in general, so why not?
Why not 1,000 of them? Like there's
there's like 8 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, pissed no one's fucking inviting me. But
I don't get invited anywhere.
I don't get invited anywhere. I just had to live with fucking my fiance.
Rude.
So Melanie was introduced to Robert Shin through Miranda. So Melanie's the sister. And B Dash, because Robert would have these private dinners where he would talk about the Lord. And in those dinners, he was very aggressive about his religious practices, and trying to get people to also join his management company at the same time. So the church services were invite only, and he wouldn't invite you until he was like pretty sure you'd come, and then it would come and be like very insistent. Yikes. Melanie told a story about how she was supposed to go she was supposed to go she had plans. She was going to pick up her friend from the airport or something. Yeah. And then all of a sudden Robert communicated through Isaiah or something like that and was like, you have to come. The Lord needs you to hear his word today. Like, you have to come today. And she's like, I have plans.
No.
I'm literally busy.
What do you think about no?
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. So
Jesus.
Melanie was clearly not a good target for this group. But she was just linked in and, given some sort of status because of her sister Miranda, who fell for it like hook, line, and sinker.
It's so strange how like two people with the same parents, same upbringing, one can have a little bit of sense and the other one is just taken.
Right. Well, I'm sure also the B Dash being involved, that's just another element. That's another hook where it's adds to the community aspect. So anyway, Miranda gets deeper into it. Melanie's already starting to get a little suspicious, and she gets really annoyed when Miranda was spending less and less time with her, continuing to dedicate herself to this. And eventually Melanie decides to get rid of it like altogether and leave that group. Then things get pretty aggressive. Apparently, one of Robert's practices was that he was telling his followers that they needed to die to themselves and their families.
Okay.
So,
this is a cult.
It's obvious. It's very clearly a cult. And we're going to talk about the business side in just a minute, where you can understand why, like what's in it for Robert, besides just like power and stuff like that. So when they died to themselves and their families, they were going to be able to evolve in their faith. And basically, the whole concept was like, if you're a full sinner, if you don't do all this, you are going to go to hell. Oh. And they believed it. So they were very scared about this whole thing. And they were like, if you don't cut off your families who you love very much, they will go to hell. But if you do, you're going to be able to save them at the end.
What? And how far
and if you're believing that, like you're going to...
How far do you have any information on how far into going to church with this guy he just like drops this ball on these people?
It sounds like pretty quick. Like, no offense to them, but I'm like kind of like, all right, guys. Like they met him in like 2021, I think it is 2022. And the reason is that there's a whole other group of fucking churchgoers that are also involved who have their own set of issues that we'll talk about in a second. So this happened in the court. It wasn't like 10 years in the making. I'm like, right away they were like, bye, mom and dad. Talk to you never.
No, that's so psychotic. Yes.
And so Miranda's family they're very involved in their daughter's lives. They've been huge cheerleaders for them the whole time. It's not like they're not estranged or having bad relationships with them at all. Yeah. There's no reason. They knew something was up when Miranda skipped her grandfather's funeral.
Oh my God.
In January 2021. So they must have started this like in 2020 or so, like towards the end of it. Oh, she had been in it for over a year. Oh, so this was also during COVID. Interesting. It's a little bonus time to really marinate in all the stuff. So she told them, at first she tried to say, oh, I have COVID and I can't come. And they were like, you're lying. And then she admitted that she needed permission from someone closer to God to fly home to Michigan from LA.
Wow.
So she didn't go. And they were starting to get really worried about her. And they also saw her bank accounts. I guess they had access to them and saw that she was making a lot of money, but all of it was immediately being transferred out of her accounts.
Okay.
Business. They called the police to make sure she was safe. And after they did that, Miranda started phasing her family out of her life. So she stopped communicating with them.
Wow.
She blocked them on every platform. Remember, these guys were social media collaborators.
Yeah.
They have a public appearance. Like they have a channel together, and they just stopped doing things together. Melanie would try to comment like "Happy birthday" on one of her posts, and she got blocked right away and everything deleted.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
wild?
No, that's so
It's really sad. And then they found out, like through her public profile, that her and James had gotten engaged. James B dash.
B dash.
Yeah.
J dash.
B dash.
Okay.
B dash. But they got engaged and married without any of her family invited.
Yikes. Probably in some weird, creepy ass cult ceremony.
Yeah, probably. That probably looked good on Instagram, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got some sick shots.
Yeah. Do you think the state of California has sanctioned said marriage, or it's just literally their strange ass cult?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Who
We'll
knows?
see.
Who knows? So Miranda's family at this point got really desperate, and they did an Instagram live to communicate with her and then just the public, and just being like, hey, something's going on. In February 2022, it was like a 40-minute session on Instagram Live, the parents and Melanie saying, hey, we think this is a cult, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think.
Etc. A bunch of the shit I just said, like we
Right.
can't get in contact with our daughter. Holy shit. And things got crazy. So right away after that, B-Dash posted this thing where he goes, it started with a white, beautiful woman moving in with a poor black man from Compton
Oh, come on.
that the parents did not approve of.
Oh, give me a break.
I know. I know.
Jesus.
So immediately he's trying to call them like that
Racist.
they racist, that they don't support him being black, which I'm sure there's a lot of I know there's a lot of families out there where that is an issue. In this specific case, it is not.
That's not the issue at hand. Also, I believe their other daughter, Melanie,
Correct.
has since married a black guy as well.
Yes, absolutely. And they also
And they
knew
all went
B-Dash.
to the fucking wedding and it was completely fine.
They also knew B-Dash before they met Robert Shin and loved him. So that's like what's even crazier is they were like, we know you, dude. What?
Yeah.
That's not an issue
Wow.
at all.
Some people are just so easily brainwashed.
I know. We'll get
This
this.
feels like an easy, like I'm not there. I don't know. I've never heard
It
this fucking
seems-
Robert talk, but it seems fast and it seems aggressive.
Yeah, we'll get this. So this is a quote from Robert Shin's one of his sermons. He goes, if you're black, then you got to use the black card, race card. Don't fight dirty, you won't win.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's just recorded saying that.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, well, that's clearly what you're doing. You're doing what the literal man of God
Wow.
is telling you to do. Also, this doesn't exactly sound very Christ-like.
Yeah, right? It's like, hey, like just put something down that someone can't argue with you back for that might have not be relevant to the conversation
Especially,
whatsoever.
remember that time, 2022?
Yes.
This was right in the mix with all the BLM stuff. It's a really bad time to say anything like
Yeah.
this.
I wonder if when Asian hate was at its
God.
peak, if he was like, if you're Asian, you have to use the Asian
Probably.
card.
It sounds like, I mean, he's a grifter. So he's going to say whatever he can to keep stealing their money.
Right.
So after this, Robert sends Miranda to Detroit to meet with her family very aggressively. They have some videos. Like, go watch the documentary. I'm skipping a ton of stuff, as you can imagine. But she goes to Detroit on Instagram Live and tries to videotape her meeting with her parents. And their parents are like, we're so happy to see you. But, like, this should be a private conversation, obviously. Yeah. And then she's like, you have to take down the Instagram video that you put up. Like, you need to remove everything. And they were like, we're not going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And she gets pissed. She leaves. At the church, apparently things start going crazy. We know this because a bunch of the other dancers saw the video, people who weren't as deep into it, and kind of like woke up and were like, oh my God, like we got to get out of here.
Really?
Which is great.
Good for them.
So they kind of realized what was up. Their families got involved and a lot of people left the group. They left 7M, but not all of them. Like a good amount of them are still there. And Robert starts freaking out. He makes everybody sign an NDA at the church, which is weird. Can you imagine?
Wow. I'd be like, okay, so you have nothing to hide.
Yeah. That's unusual. In service, he apparently passed them all around to do it. And a bunch of sponsors started to stop working with the group because they were like, oh, I think it's a cult. Maybe Toyota shouldn't. Maybe Toyota doesn't need to do an ad with this cult.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you're going to make it the cult of Toyota, in which case, let's talk.
Okay.
Melanie Lee enters the picture. So Melanie Lee saw this video. She saw the Instagram Live, and at first she was just like, this is wild, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden she's like, holy shit, I know who they're talking about.
Oh.
Melanie had been in the Shekinah church. I think I've been saying Shanina as well. Sorry. It's Shekinah church. And knew Robert Shin.
Oh my God.
She had escaped this church after being like not in prison, but kind of for 10 years. Wow. And her sister Priscilla had just left as well.
Oh, wow.
Her who had been locked up for 23 years. So her and her sister were Korean immigrants. They came to America as kids with their single mom, who was a bad mom. She was an alcoholic and a gambler and would apparently just disappear for months at a time. And there's like these two little kids. They were like 9 or something like that at this point, and fucking by themselves.
Yeah.
It was a tough situation.
It's not great. It's not ideal.
No, not ideal. But they found, and they were Korean, and Robert's Korean as well. So they found the church, which had like this Korean community, and they kind of took them in. Once they moved into the community, it became like this like pretty classic cult where they had to follow really strict rules and be completely obedient to Robert, who was always saying like he was the voice of God. So anything he said was literally like scripture to them.
Okay.
He like built like hierarchies and stuff within there, so you couldn't even talk directly to him. You had to do it through other groups. Like just classic cult stuff, stressed obedience, stress telling on people for disobeying, isolated them. You had to get approvals for anything you did. Like if you were going to buy shoes, you had to get approvals from his team in order to do that, like random stuff. But especially when they were children, this provided them with like a safety blanket of, hey, at least I'm not on the streets.
Right. And like I feel like weirdly kids love cults. They love a structure.
I mean, your family, your parents are supposed to protect you and provide you with
structure,
what
rules.
could be considered a mini cult. But,
Yeah.
But a healthy cult that like enables you to go out and bloom from there.
Right.
You're not supposed to be doing all this stuff for yourself. Yeah, literally for a 9-year-old, the cult's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with Robert? Why is he doing all this? For money. He was targeting specifically originally low-income immigrant families, so Koreans, other people who had just recently come to the country, who didn't have a lot of money, who were easy to take advantage of because they didn't have a lot of connections in America. And then eventually those dancers who, like we were talking about, were desperate, doing anything to get fame. And what he would do is get them into his community and then started a ton of other companies. He opened 2 flower shops, a cafe, 2 mortgage companies, and 2 real estate companies. And then he would have the church members work at those places. They would work like 12-hour days for like every day of the week, and they would earn $100 a week.
Oh my God.
That was what they were paid.
Wow. That reminds me, there's a place on the Cape called the Egg and I.
It's a cult?
Yeah, it's a cult. It's Main Street Hyannis, and it's like this weird polygamous cult.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
and
wow. I was kind of kidding.
No, I'm dead serious. And everyone that's in the cult has to like works at the Egg and I, and it's only open like from like 6 to 12 every day or something like that. So we should go.
We should go, and then we should also probably look into that in more detail.
I know.
Maybe Robert's pissed. He's seen the Egg and I, and he's like, "We're gonna beat them."
I've actually never been, and I
guess it's probably good not to go, right?
Yeah, I think my parents probably put a little stance down. They were like, "We're not going to go to the cult."
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to literally.
I'm not going to support the cult that's in the town.
Why, Mom? You don't ever let me do anything fun.
But I'm fascinated by this.
I would love to go and just have a water.
Oh,
maybe give some cash directly to the workers. How about that?
No, they got to hand it over to their handlers.
Yeah,
I'll get an egg.
But get
I
an
actually
egg.
don't even like eggs. I'll get French toast.
You're already like thinking of the menu. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what am I going to order? I don't know.
Let me look up.
If they have gluten free.
Let's see if it's still open.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Actually, the fact that we know this is not a great sign.
Yeah.
You'd think
The Egg and I restaurant.
But it is surprisingly hard to get rid of cults. Is one thing I'd really took away.
It is. No, it totally is. Okay, so it only has 3 stars out of 5, which is pretty bad.
That's not as low as I thought it would be.
Damn, it closed May of 2024. We just missed it.
Wow. We should definitely look into that later.
Well, no, it says
is it just closed for the season?
No, but why would it be closed for? This is like top season.
I don't know.
Yeah. R.I.P. the Egg and I.
R.I.P. Well, anyway, definitely if you have a cult, I highly recommend starting a cafe or other businesses and having them basically do slave labor because it's very profitable. The mortgage company and real estate company made over $1 million in 2021. So they were like raking it in. And the money would go into their accounts for the different people. Like, for instance, obviously for the influencers, they were doing deals with outside groups, so they'd get paid directly. So they apparently asked all the influencers and all the people who were involved in the church, depending on how the payments went, to sign a bunch of blank checks. And then they would just take money out of their accounts whenever they wanted and just use it to pay like other credit cards, just do contributions to the church, whatever they wanted. They were also, of course, told to tithe and do all this sorts of, beyond that. It was a 20% management fee for the 7M dancers, 10% went to the church, and then they pay rent, tithe, offerings plus donations until around 60% of their income before taxes goes to Robert.
Oh my god.
Pretty good deal. Pretty good deal.
At what point would they just say, "Oh, isn't it strange that if I just had a regular manager who wanted to manage me because of my social media content and did all this, got me
I'd
some
make
gigs,
money.
I would be paying them 10% tops."
Exactly.
Why am I paying you 60%?
Well, here is where religion is super useful. They thought they'd go to hell if they didn't do this.
Oh my god.
So that's a pretty good, if you really believe that, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And he was apparently very convincing.
Yeah.
So he would give them $80 every 2 weeks in which they were allowed to spend. Can you? In Los Angeles.
Where is this girl getting her outfits or Botox? Is that all covered by him?
I'm guessing that because that's part of her job.
Right.
My guess is that was involved.
Because I'm like, she looks like way more money than that.
Yeah. I mean,
highlights.
she's clearly going and getting things done, and I'm assuming that Robert's not an idiot. He knows that for a flower shop to operate, it needs flowers. For an influencer to influence, they need the whole get up.
Right.
But whatever. Apparently, his net worth is estimated to be close to $15 million. Most of his wealth obviously being built on the free labor or fees from the members, including all those companies, and then the different amounts that were getting wired. He also instructed members to apply for COVID relief funds, collecting over $100,000 that went to his corporations rather than the church members. Everybody, if you did not get COVID relief funds, were you trying?
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And I'm like, looking back, I'm like, apparently everyone is fucking doing it.
Yeah, right. I need some relief.
I was over here not relieved. I was working. But he lived a life of luxury. Robert was not doing shit besides actually, I guess managing this does sound kind of hard. He had nice cars, a big house full of women, Hollywood dreams. He produced a number of indie films.
Oh my God.
I know. I looked at his IMDb and he made 4 movies.
Wait, that's so funny. That's very, The Artist of him. You see
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
Very much so. Very giving that energy.
Yeah. So he wrote produced a couple movies that did come out. Closure, Random Encounters, and Abducted, and then #Hello Gorgeous.
He just does one on the cult, but it's like, this is a fictional cult.
Yes, this isn't real. It's an alien cult. It's the exact same. They're like, they worked in a flower shop for no money.
Yeah. But they were aliens.
But they were aliens.
Nothing to do with
totally
my flower shop workers.
So he also, as you might imagine, had a sexual element to this. He apparently was routinely sexually assaulting women in the church. I don't know if that happened to the dancers or not. I really hope not, obviously. And I don't think there's claims beyond one of the dancers. She said that it happened to her, but I don't know if it happened to Miranda, so I don't want to say that it did or not.
I mean, I just feel like that's just so par for the course. They take your money and then weird sex stuff. That's what a cult is.
They have a harem of women, and then they have all this. It's a fucking great deal for the cult leader.
It really is.
Really good deal. And specifically,
like to your point though, I'm like, man, it seems like a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a CEO.
Mischievous activity is exhausting. Imagine having to have all these people under your spell
all
like
the time.
I would be like, yo, I just want to have a real conversation, not about fucking Jesus Christ.
Yes. Does anyone want to just get a beer?
I want to get a beer.
Hang out.
I want to talk about the Israel-Hamas war. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to talk
some
about
light topics.
Anything besides Jesus Christ.
God, all the time. And it was also like he had this like group of people. There was this hierarchy, and he made them tell on each other all the time.
Oh, that's
so everyone was narking
cult stuff. Yeah,
very classic cult stuff, but just always having to like get these emails of like, this person did this, and then they would be cut off and ostracized and blah, 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 blah. Sounds toxic.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
Guys, again, I don't think you should do a cult. This is really my big takeaway from here. If you're going to lead a cult, that's maybe a different story, because this seems like a pretty sweet deal for him. Yeah. But otherwise, wouldn't do it.
My grandpa once famously said, he was like, if you want to make a lot of money, start a church.
Start a church. Well, he did, and he made a lot of money. 15 mil. It's pretty good.
And also invest in Dunkin' Donuts. That was a little tidbit as well.
I love Duncan.
But anyway.
So Melanie and Priscilla, the other two sisters who were the Korean immigrants, they eventually escaped the church. Melanie left after 10 years. Go watch the
Her
documentary.
name is also Melanie?
Oh.
Or whatever.
Did I fuck up? No, yeah. I think it is. I think it is also Melanie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Melanie Lee? Yes.
Okay.
I'm almost positive if I'm sorry.
Sorry,
if not.
I just want people to be confused.
Yeah, no, they're probably already anyway.
Yeah.
So she escaped after she was in for 10 years. I think she eventually just had the realization, especially with all the sexual assault stuff, that like we gotta go.
Yeah.
She tried to get Priscilla to leave and she refused.
Oh no.
Which is so sad because they were like little immigrant. Oh God, they were like they were so close because they like raised each other.
Is Priscilla still in there?
She left in 2022, which is
thank
crazy
God.
because that's the same fucking time as the TikTok dancers were in there.
Yeah.
So they like overlapped.
Yeah, that's insane.
Priscilla ended up being in for 23 years.
Oh my God.
Most of her life. And she's not well.
Wow.
When you watch the documentary, she's not good.
Oh my God. There's this podcast I was listening to for a long time. It was called I Got the Hell Out, and it was like this random lady hired her, like a cleaning lady, to come clean her house, started like chatting to her cleaning lady and was like, oh, like, did you just move to town, blah blah blah. Turns out the cleaning lady had just fucking escaped this like insane doomsday cult.
Whoa.
And like left her husband and I think like one of her children, but then had to go back for the child. It was like this crazy thing.
Oh my God.
And the woman is a total kook, as you can imagine. And she's
The
like
cleaning lady?
the cleaning lady is like a
fair enough.
crazy kook. But like this lady was like, can I start a podcast with you? Because this is so interesting. And it's like super amateur hour, probably even more so than ours. But I like listened to like seasons of it because every season would be something else insane they did, or every episode would be something else insane they did in the cult. And it was very funny. They had a lot of chemistry. Check out that podcast.
We'll figure out what it is.
That's my promoted for the week.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
My promoted is being a cult leader.
Yeah.
If you can pull it off,
pretty
it's a good
lucrative.
gig. And apparently you're not going to get in any trouble because it's not illegal. That was the weirdest part, is they kept trying to talk about the legality of it, and it's tough. The sexual assault, that's obviously illegal. But the money stuff, these people were choosing to give the money over.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't
Right.
forcing them to do it. I guess eventually you could say it's kind of coercion, but I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, this whole thing continues to escalate. The Priscilla and Melanie, you know, they talk about their story. Obviously, this Netflix documentary comes out, which was wild because apparently 3 days before it came out, the Wilkings were at the wedding of Melanie. So Melanie did marry that NFL guy. And,
wow, I didn't know he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Miranda came to the wedding.
Or so she says.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like I think that they would have said had she not been there.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, because the things that I saw was that she took photos being like, oh, what a wonderful time at my sister's wedding. But then the like arch that she had set up wasn't there. It was like at the same venue. So the arch was not in the background and there was no one in the background. So people are alleging that she basically just like photoshopped herself in.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, who knows? But you would think that the family would be like, no, she wasn't there.
Yeah, right? I feel like they would have come forward and say like, no.
Yeah.
I feel like she probably was there. My guess is maybe she wasn't there long or didn't really interact with people, because that was apparently one of the things, is that Robert was freaking out that the sponsors were dropping. So he was like, you guys need to go see your family, but just did a lot to maintain his control over them while he did it. So they would just kind of show up and be like, I'm with you now. You are family.
Right.
We have done this. Goodbye.
Totally.
And go back over. So Miranda and Melanie have been interacting some more. I don't think anymore.
So weird. I wonder what, because it says that according to Us Weekly, she did go.
Yeah. I feel like she wouldn't have, it would be super easy to say like she didn't go if she hadn't. But my guess is she probably just arrived and was just like, I'm here.
Right. This is my photo of me here. Goodbye.
Correct.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So the documentary comes out and everyone's freaking the fuck out about it. It's very popular. It's been on the top 10 for a while now.
Yeah,
on Netflix.
It's really good.
Millions and millions of people have seen it. And so what's up? How are the lawsuits going? Are they going to stop it? Because Miranda is still in the group right now.
Yeah.
I wonder what she's doing right now. Probably in church or something. Probably dancing on the talk. So there had been previous lawsuits. Lydia Chung, who had been in the church, had tried to sue him in 2009, Robert, for isolating her from her family, brainwashing her, and defrauding her out of nearly $4 million.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. The judge ruled in favor of Robert.
What?
Right?
Oh my God.
And that's when they kind of talk about how going after him legally is really, really hard. Like kind of I was talking about, the only thing that's just straight up illegal is obviously the sexual assault. So these women had to come forward and put together another lawsuit where they're talking more specifically about the sexual assault, but then also just being like, but also the other stuff he's doing, not great either.
Yeah.
That's very bad. Yes. But the things he's doing to the men and all these other groups is not kosher, and we should shut it down. He apparently in 2022, after one of the when some of the people started to leave, filed a defamation suit against them. Oh, I'm sorry, this was after the IG Live thing.
Oh, okay, okay. After the parents or who?
After former church members who had left and were accusing him of running a cult. So he filed Robert files a defamation suit against them. They countersuit against him, saying XYZ, you've done a whole bunch of crazy shit, etc.
Right.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Human trafficking is one of the things. Sure.
Right.
I'm sure they have a in-depth piece on this.
Jesus.
And then that case is set to go to trial in July 2025.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Miranda did an interview with The Cut in which she said, I'm not held. She basically is like, I'm not in a cult. Stop saying I'm in a cult. Well, someone's like staring at her in the back. Like, no, I'm not in a cult.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm not held against my will and I've never been a hostage. I go to church and I have faith in God. If one day I wish to pursue my faith elsewhere, I will and feel completely free to do that. As far as my career, my time at 7M Films has been one of the most exciting years ever. And if one day I wish to partner with a different management company or start my own company, I will. No one is forcing me to do anything.
Miranda, most people just go to church on Sunday and then come home to live their lives.
Also, why aren't you making any money, babe?
Yeah.
She also posts on her Instagram account on June 10th, which was just a couple days ago. And she said that she's being stalked and that her safety is in danger and her husband's safety is in danger. So I'm sure the internet is interneting.
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
crazy fucks are online sending her all sorts of crazy stuff. So I mean, that sucks. There's no getting around that. And I'm sure that does not feel good. But ultimately, a lot of people really just want the best for her. But she's trying to really focus the attention on like, hey, this has been really bad for me, which I'm sure it's not great, but people want you to get out of there.
Yikes.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
So we
with
will
that.
see what happens. Yeah. Currently, they're still posted up in that $2.5 million mansion.
Jesus.
Built off the backs of all these people.
I mean, I was going to say that's a really expensive mansion, but I'm like...
It's California. It's
is
like
it?
mid.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like... I don't know.
It's like,
is it doesn't even count as a mansion over there?
Yeah, it's like a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, right? Oh
no, I think it apparently does have a lot of bedrooms because all these people have to be there.
I guess so.
At all hours. Well, yeah. And that's my story, man.
Man, that's crazy. I wish her the best. I wish everyone is able to see that Netflix. I don't know, like, he must be like concocting some way to not get them to watch the documentary.
It's tough because at least for the 7M people, their job is influencer. So
Yeah.
they are chronically online professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but are they, or is there like someone doing the socials and they just?
I mean,
dance,
if I were Robert, I would absolutely be hiring someone to manage that.
Yeah,
pretty damn quick.
and send them my way because I don't want to be on social media.
Yeah,
anymore. I just want
if you
someone
can
to
get
post
someone
for.
talented to contact us to do that, that'd be great. But they can edit my Jojo Siwa clip. That'd be really nice.
Oh my god, I fucking hate editing clips. I can't.
Yeah,
tell you
it's
enough.
the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I think that we're going to definitely see some updates on this whole thing. I hope everybody stays safe and they get her out of there. And also the other people, too. Because that was another thing where the documentary was just talking about how now that these very famous dancers are involved, this has become a really big story.
Yeah.
But there were normal-ass people being abused and taken advantage of beforehand that we also deserve to not have that happen.
Yeah.
Just because they're not famous. You know, for Priscilla's not doing hot. Like I feel so bad watching the documentary. You're like, I hope she's still with us soon.
Yeah.
You know?
I do kind of wonder, you know, because it feels like there's a lot of cults of all different variations across America. And obviously we have like freedom of religion and blah, blah, blah. So it's like very interesting legally to go after these cults. I would like to see the stats between us and other countries of if we have more or less cults. Because I feel like South America has got some insane cults. Children of God, if you know about that cult.
I know, I've heard the name, but I don't know much about it.
Oh boy.
Really?
It's gnarly as fuck.
Dude. And they don't even dance on the fucking TikTok.
They don't even dance. They
There's
just
not
do a
even
lot of raping of children.
Oh, no.
Just a lot of raping of the children so the children can get closer to God.
I hate that.
Graping.
That's on Pip for me.
That's on Pip.
Children of God, you're on Pip.
You're on fucking Pip, dude.
You're on Pip.
You know who was in that? Joaquin Phoenix.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to do an episode on that. That's what?
You know what I'm realizing
What?
now? You know what I'm realizing now is I feel like the egg and I might not have been, and I'm also just like outing Joaquin Phoenix for something that might not be either. But
Yeah,
I'm
should we double check that real quick? Because that's like a pretty. What if we
That'd be so.
let it
funny.
ride? Let it ride. I also Joaquin. No idea how to spell that.
Yeah. Right.
Holy shit.
Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, I got it. Joaquin Phoenix. Children
Cult.
of God.
Children of God. Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix. Rose McGowan.
Oh,
also
that
there?
makes sense. She's a
No.
sad soul.
No. Oh God.
It's so bad. Yeah, so there's like it comes primarily from Venezuela, I believe, but that's what it says here anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, obviously there's like subsects in other places.
15,000 members around the world.
Yeah.
Wow, they really took this fucking global. It's like a Fortune 500 cult right here.
Oh, it's a big ass cult. And it is so bad. It is so bad.
All right, well,
It's
we'll
like,
have to talk about that at some point.
talk about like monsters, truly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of this, that cults as whole are all
Yeah.
on Pip. Definitely Children of God.
Definitely on Pip, for sure, for us. Speaking of on Pip, I'm getting in touch with the guy who's going to start producing our merch, so you'll be able to get that soon. So stay tuned for that. It'll be exciting. And then the other thing is that please follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, Promoted is following us on YouTube.
Promoted is following us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Please rate us on Apple Podcasts. Please share with your friends. Please follow us on Instagram.
Follow
Risque
me.
Business News.
Follow me, Laura Sogar, and you May
_Planet.
And we love you.
We love you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.